tuning in. My name is Shawna. Welcome to my channel. This is my very first homeschool video, so I'm super excited. I just want to let you know what we're doing for the 2019-2020 school year, which is coming up. We plan on starting probably August 5th. We might start sooner than that. I don't know. I just get really excited and I usually can't wait. I have two sets of twins. My older ones just turned 7 in July. My little ones just turned 5 in June. So you can see how their ages are very new to the upcoming school year. So we waited a little bit because technically kids start kindergarten when they're 5, but ours were new 5, and I just wanted to give them that additional year before we, started doing too much, because my main concern is to get them outside to play, to learn naturally as much as they possibly can before we sit down and do book work, because they can learn so much just by being outside and just through living life in the family as in general. So I'll probably go more into depth with each subject in other videos to try to keep the length down a little bit on this one. I'm not really doing much with the little ones. They're mostly going to just be listening in. They want to copy what the older ones do, so I've noticed that their level of understanding is very close to the older set, which is amazing and awesome. My goal is to teach all 4 of them basically from the same books. I think that makes life so much easier. Less stress. I don't mind slowing down or speeding up toward, or changing things around a little bit for their own personal learning style. But I think it would be so great and beneficial to be able to go over everything with all of them and have them just learn together. And that's kind of what I'm seeing already, just from the ages that they are, since we waited that extra year. And I feel like younger siblings catch up faster because they just want to do what the older ones are doing. So I'll just kind of let you know what we're doing with the littles in each subject. So for math, we're going to continue Right Starts Math. For my son, who loves math, it comes so naturally for him, which that's not from me at all. That's got to be from my husband. This is more of an expensive curriculum. It doesn't have the, colors and fun pictures or anything like that. But at the same time, this is excellent. There's a lot of manipulatives with this. If you have a son or daughter like mine, he has to touch everything. He has to move things. He has to build things and destroy things. And this is great for that. And it's challenging enough to him and I think he likes that. My daughter, on the other hand, who is more like me, and math just does not come to her easily, which is totally fine. This is more her style. So this is from Master Books, and this is level 2. I had them go through level 1, which they breezed through in about 2 months to get ready for this. And I'm probably going to do this in a little bit unique of a way. I'll explain that more in another video. So Math Lessons for a Living Education through Master Books. This has the colors. This has the fun, cute pictures. This has activities. This is totally my style, totally my daughter's style. And she has really gotten a lot more confident with this more gentle approach to math, which is what I want, because I feel like with math, it's one of, if not the subject that people can easily hate the most, and I don't want that to happen to them. Now, some people are just naturally more into math and not, but I don't ever want it to feel like it was just so stressful that it becomes frustrating and you just don't want to do it. So I totally did not mind getting a different curriculum, especially for math, on that. The littles, they'll just listen along. We also got this I'm so excited about. This is through Preschool Prep. This is called Meet the Math Facts. If you're not familiar with Preschool Prep, they came out with this first. This has introducing the letters, numbers, shapes. So if you have little ones, This is amazing. And I loved this so much more than just turning on like cartoons or something while I was making dinner. I totally did not mind having this on. And I saw them really grow in their shapes and numbers and everything. This is basically what we did for preschool. I didn't do like workbooks or anything like that. So they have math. This is going to go over addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. It has drills for all of them, levels 1, 2, and 3. We just started listening to it today. It is so cute and so fun, and my littles are even starting to pick stuff up. So that's what we'll be doing for math. Now for it's not really history, maybe social studies. We're going to be doing My Story in the World Around Me. This is book 1, again, through Master Books. This is really fun. So instead of chapters or lessons, it's told in quests. You go on these quests kind of around the world on different ways of transportation. So they have you're on a helicopter or a hot air balloon or trains. There's little journaling, there's some coloring pages, some activities. This is really fun. This is speaking to all of the languages of my workbook loving self. But it's also simplistic enough for my son who does not like a lot of copy work, or not copy work, but like worksheet things, because his attention span for things like that is short. I do have the story of the world, and it's got some great activities and stuff in here, but I think that would just be too much, and knowing myself, it would just be too much. But we do have the CD, which we will be listening to in the car, like whenever. It's nothing that will be scheduled in. It's just going to be like, oh, we're in the car, let's listen to this. Science, also by Master Books. This is very, very simple. It's like a page per day. I think maybe sometimes there's 2 pages. This is going to introduce plants, and then it's going to introduce Then it's going to introduce the body, so the different parts of the body. And then finally it's going to introduce animals. It's a very again, it's plants, human body, animals for beginners. All 4 of mine will do this. I only got the workbooks for the older 2 because the younger 2 will just be listening. I will ask them the questions. I'm interested to see if I will continue with this because we also have folders from the national parks to do the Junior Ranger program, and you basically visit different national parks and you get signed off after you do certain activities, and then you get a badge at the end. And that sounds more exciting to me than a book curriculum, but I couldn't pass this up because it was so cute, and I think it has a great overview. So we might actually move this more towards our morning basket, which I'll do in another video. I'm not quite sure yet. But I do want to hit kind of an overview of science. It looks more fun to me than curriculum, which I think is a good thing, and I think they'll be excited to do it, but we'll see. So the next one is called More Than Words, Living Faith Bible Curriculum. This is also through Master Books. I'm just loving Master Books. It's faith-based curriculum, so God is in and around and throughout the curriculum, so I don't have to think about it. It's just already there, and I'm teaching, and I'm also teaching them, faith through everything. God is in math, God is in science, God is in history, and I just love that. So there's journal entries, there's copy work, there's character traits, talks about different emotions you feel and what God says about those emotions that we feel, how we can kind of get a handle on the negative emotions that we feel. Like I said, copy work, there's some coloring pages in here. This is so cute and so fun. I also love that there's some hymns and scripture work in here, but they also do synonyms and antonyms, and so it's kind of like vocabulary as well. It gives your children different ways of communicating their feelings, or different words to use to communicate their feelings. Of course, we'll be using the Standard Bible as well. I also like the Child Story Bible by Catherine Voss. It just has the basic Bible stories. We read like one a day at lunch because I think they should know their, Bible stories. I also like the Long Story Short. It's 10-minute devotions, and it tells you how to cater this towards younger kids and older kids. And this is a great way to go through the Bible and really get into the Word and some thought-provoking questions. So I like that. I did get La Clase Divertida. This, and I'll tell you why in a second, but this is our Spanish curriculum. This is very simple to use. So it comes with the teacher's manual, and then it comes with the activity packs for the kids, which has everything you need, all the fun stuff, and a DVD and a CD. This is done by Senor Dale Gamache, and in the DVD you will watch him teaching a class of kids, and that's what your kids will watch. It's very interactive, and the reason I had to go with this curriculum is because Senor Gamache was my high school Spanish teacher, and he is fantastic. So if you want a curriculum and you want to know that the creator loves children and loves and desires them to know not just the language, but the culture, the people, everything about Spanish, then I would totally recommend Senor Gamache. And he's not sponsoring me to say that or anything. Senor, if you're watching this, you can just buy me lunch one day. So it comes in this cool little pack. This is level 1. So we're going to do that, and I'm excited. And it's very simple. Then we have language arts. I'm super excited about this. I love it. This is one of my favorite curriculums. This is Logic of English. This is book C. We already did book A and book B. We did both of those last year. They could have done book C, but I was like, let's just stop. Let's do some other things. I don't want them to get burnt out. Logic of English has the student workbook and the teacher's manual. You can pick print or cursive for your students. We picked cursive. And this is the teacher's manual, so it's pretty thick. This is also set up for if you were teaching a class, like a large class. So when you go through this, don't think that you have to use every single thing and do every single thing, because it's meant to teach a large class or homeschooling, and it's fantastic for both. It's, again, very fun. The kids love it. It's colorful. It's not busy work. You're doing maybe a worksheet, maybe 2. There's some games in here. Sometimes it's just some reading sentences, compound words that you cut out, reading a sentence and drawing a line to the picture. This curriculum is going to cover vocabulary, grammar, spelling, reading, and writing. So it's all in one. I love it. From the very beginning, they explained the spelling rules, which I thought was going to be a little too much for them, but it wasn't. Because of the way that they teach it, it's very fun, and it makes so much sense. So when you get that foundation of those words, the kids start to build on them on their own. And then they just started reading. I didn't quite even have to, it's like I never sat down and went over reading. Just from doing the work in these books, they just started reading. And I was like, well, that's cool. But one of the things that I really love about this curriculum, especially for reading, is that they teach you the sounds, all the sounds that the words make right off the bat. So where other curriculums may say A says ah, like fan, man, can, Logic of English will say A says ah, a, ah. And so when you're learning all 3, when you come up against a word, you can try out all the sounds. The kids, I hear them sometimes when they're reading, they'll try out different sounds until they're like, oh, that's the way I'm supposed to say this word. And I love that they're doing that on their own. They're figuring it out on their own, because when they're doing that, it's going to stick faster than me telling them how to say that word. It makes reading for them, they can be way more independent in their reading when they know all the spelling rules. And I really, really like that. Also, things like the word make or take. You learn that when there's an E at the end of the word, that makes the vowel say its name. So sometimes they'll say, instead of we make, they'll say we mock. They're not getting it, and then they look at it, and then they realize, oh, there's an E at the end, so they change it themselves to say make. And just little things like that is why I truly enjoy this curriculum. We love it. This also comes with a ton of different cards and games, and the writing program in here is really, really good. So we started out, like I said, with cursive, but then once you learn all the cursive letters, it goes straight into kind of copy work. And there was this disconnect with my kids where there was something they were missing from jumping from learning how to do individual cursive letters to making cursive words and sentences. So I was searching everywhere for something, I didn't know what, and I magically came across Half a 100 Acre Wood, which I love them anyway, but I didn't know they had this. But it's called Script-n-Scribe Cursive Connections. It was like they knew I would need this. And it's basically exactly what I needed. It's taking a couple letters and just putting them together. So right here is SH. They practice just those two, and then there's a word at the end, the E's. And so they go through this, and they just learn very gently, very easy how to connect the letters. And then at the end, there's some, when you go through everything, then you have some copy work you can do. It also goes into adding letters. So adding an S. So they get different ways to add S and to add everything else. And then, of course, they do uppercase, adding Q and U. I love it. I absolutely love this. They also, if you like this, and you don't need a grammar program, but you are looking for cursive, I highly recommend this. They also have a book that would be kind of the first book to this, learning the cursive letters. We didn't need that one because we had already learned them through Logic of English, but I might get the first book for my little ones. Even though I love Logic of English, I love how this is just put together in just like this, so I don't have to flip through the rest of the workbook. Yeah, baby.
Can we mix one color?
Yes.
Oh, we can mix one color.
So I might get that for them, but I love this. We will continue with that. So there's some other things that we're going to be doing in our morning basket, which I haven't covered here. I'll do a separate video for that. We have some, we're going over artists, poets, hymns, just some different books. I have a ton of read aloud books ready for this year. We just started The Tale of Despereaux by Kate DiCamillo today, which I'm so excited. We read because of Winn-Dixie last year. We love Kate DiCamillo. And so I have a whole bunch of books set up. We love books. I am a book hoarder. I have a podcast called Getting Bookish with Shawna and Lizz. If you're kind of just a nerdy book person and you want to check it out, there is a YouTube channel for that. It's also anywhere where you listen to podcasts. We just kind of talk about, like I said, nerdy bookish things. That's totally a side note, but you want to check it out, go ahead. But I love to read, and I really hope that I can instill that love of reading to my children. So that's about it. If you have any questions, please put them below. If there's anything that you want me to show more of, I know I kind of went over fast. I just wanted to keep the length down a little bit. Let me know. I think I'm going to go through each one and talk a little bit more in depth on each subject in case you're interested, and then I'll do another video on Morning Basket. I'll also do a video of what we did do last year, even though it was very minimal, just to kind of give you an idea. Again, I really am not a huge fan for my family to do much sit down or busy work when they're little. That's just what's working for us. And so anyway, thanks again for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and I'll see you next time.